Best of r/entitledParents episode 6. So while I was a senior in high school, I worked in a Kmart for the Christmas season. One night about 1030 p.m. right before closing, a mother and daughter walk in. The daughter looked like she was in pain and the mother makes a beeline for me. Excuse me, can my daughter have a slushie? A bit of context: the Kmart I worked at was one that had a pizza chain in it that when open served slushies. I am sorry, I don't work for pizza chain, so I can't get you a slushie. My daughter just had her wisdom teeth pulled and needs a slushie to help with the pain. I knew that it would make her daughter's situation a bit worse by causing a dry socket, plus only pizza chain employees were allowed to turn on the slushie machine or any beverage machine in their section. I can try, but like I said, I am not authorized to turn on the machine. Just try. I proceed to grab a cup and find a way to turn on the machine. Actually, I was just going through the motions. I am sorry, I can't find a way to turn on the machine. Well, can you at least get her a soda or water? My daughter is in pain. I told you already that only pizza chain employees can turn on the machines and fire area, and they are closed. You are welcome to buy a bottle of water before we close. My daughter is in pain from her surgery and wants a slushie. If you can't get her one, I will tell your manager. My manager arrives after seeing this on the cameras, wondering why I haven't finished my closing duties yet, asks me what is going on. Your employee won't get my daughter a slushie. Manager: well, he is not authorized to turn on the machine since only pizza chain employees can only do it and they are closed at this time. The daughter and walk out in a big huff. I felt sorry for the daughter at this time. Some people's parents. Thank you. Next. This isn't a specific instance, but it has happened multiple times. I go out with my friends to play soccer on the public community soccer fields near our house. Usually there's a plethora of people using them, from college kids like us to little toddlers to middle-aged adults. This isn't a problem until one of the younger kids wants to come play with us. I don't mind kicking a ball around with younger kids, I have nephews and nieces. But when I'm out playing with my friends, practicing for our real life teams and just trying to hang out, it really bothers me when parents let their young kids come into our space, use our balls, and play with us. Not your kids' babysitters. The balls are our stuff, not community, and there is always plenty of other space to play. Several times we've literally had to leave because we were trying to scrimmage or shoot but didn't want to hurt this tiny kid, always sub 10, when we are all over 19, who could easily be squashed by a hard kicked goal or one of us dribbling, and the parents just sit and watch like it's no big deal that we are literally just standing around doing nothing because their kid keeps trying to steal our balls to shoot and play with us. If you don't want to engage with your kid, hire a babysitter or at least tell him/her to use the open space. It's very entitled to presume on our time and property without even asking when we don't know you or your kid, especially when they let their kid go at it for a long time. It's never just a brief interaction, always upwards of 30 minutes. Bit of a rant, but yeah, thank you. Next. So I'm doing my first year at a technical university. This coming spring I have my first examination in some of the hardest math I have ever done in my life. My parents are forcing me to come with them on a vacation for an entire month where I'm not allowed to bring my books to study. This will 100% make me fail both my courses, making it so I will have to take them again next year, fucking up my entire education. They aren't even paying for my tickets or housing for the trip, they just expect me to come with BQs. Your family, you don't have a choice in the matter. Sorry if this is a bit rambly, I'm just so angry RN. Thank you. Next. Part 1 if no one read it. This is a smaller update but will still updates if something happens. Also this is 2nd grade if you wanted to know. Also I was told the story so not all details may be 100% accurate. Cast. M. Entitled Mom Ec. Entitled Kid MM. My mom. Teacher. S. Secretary A. Entitled Auntie G. Entitled Grandma. So apparently EK lives with EA and EG and she goes back and forth. So EM isn't even in this situation and doesn't have custody of her. So I'm not sure why she got into this with a lawyer. Anyway, EA came to pick up EK early from school. EK was in another classroom than her home room at the time. While S went to go get EK, EA snuck out of the office and started to look for MM classroom. She didn't have a special tag that says you can wander the school, which is a big thing in schools around me. When EA found classroom, she had a super rude attitude. EA, give me EK books now. Almost has a panic attack from my she was there. Okay, give me a minute. A very impatient EA later. Oh yeah, EK is in her reading class, I'll get someone to send her down here. EA, freaking out, where is she? Why isn't she in here? Eventually S came in with EA. S was very mad that EA was wandering the school. They left. People now have to check on classroom multiple times a day just to make sure no one shows up. Also can't talk to EA, or EG without someone there. Also still has the lawyer and has the evidence of it. The school's just gonna let her wait her money on it, and I'll keep you updated on it. Thank you. Next. I am a responsible gun owner, member of the NRA, and consider myself a patriot. I exercise my right to openly carry a firearm. I wear a cowboy-style holster and sport a 357 Magnum. It's pretty cool. I'm not proud of it or act cool about it, I just feel in this country it is the only way to protect my family and honest citizens around me. The story starts. So I was in Kmart looking for a new tracksuit. I was browsing the firearms section because I also needed some buckshot. As I am leaving the firearms section, there is this kid yelling, "Mommy, mommy, look, there's one out of the case." I try to not notice because fuck a kid having anything to do with your gun. So then the EK literally starts chasing me down the aisle at speed, so I felt like I had to put my hand over the grip in case he pulled it from me. He starts saying Mr. and I am just ignoring him, looking over him until I literally get a sharp fingernail shoved into the back of my neck and I turn around and is like, I couldn't help but notice your gun. My son was just salivating looking through the gun racks and we don't own one. I would really appreciate it if you showed him. This was a loaded 357 Magnum. I politely said no, and I also said, do you understand what it would look like to other people in this store if I removed my gun from my holster? Just unload it, who cares? I'm really sorry, no, I can't do that. This gun does not have a safety. It's not something that should be done in an insecure location. Don't be a pussy and stop ruining my son's day. Lady, I have this weapon to save your family in an active shooter situation and you have the audacity to act like it's a joke and something children should be involved with. OMG, you are a pussy and an asshole. I can't believe you have a gun in the store. Guys, he's got a gun. She sort of shouts but not confident enough because she knows everyone will tell her to fuck off. I commence walking off when I start hearing her saying, "Somebody dial 911. In the same soft yell, she starts dialing 911 and asks for the police. At this point, honestly, even though I am not doing anything illegal, I start running and get in my car laughing. I see the cop car coming down the highway as I peel out in my 78 Trans Am. I never really did hear anything about it. Thank you. Next. Not sure if this belongs here, it sounds like it does, but you'll decide. So this all happened last year. My family and I lived in an apartment for almost 4 years and have had the usual issues with the neighbors. Loud sex. Seriously could have set a watch to when they would start stomping. A case of domestic violence, but nothing was as bad as the bitch in hiding that we had moved in above us for the last year and a half of our lease. She started off nice and normal as most entitled people are, but holy fuck the amount of crazy this lady had. Now I was a nice neighbor offering to help with fixing her truck or checking the smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. You would think that this would endear you to someone new to the neighborhood, but not for long. She would criticize my wife's teaching our son and claim that his language skills were behind where they should be, or send her daughter, who is maybe 9, to play cards to improve my son's number recognition. We didn't know this till the daughter told us same day. She would do other stuff like leave her dogs kenneled all day from when she left at about 7:30 in the morning after waking everyone in the complex up with her giant schnauzer that was a show dog, which was a laugh as this dog didn't listen to commands at all, and her 2 smaller schnauzers. The big dog would howl all day and night from when she left till well after she got home and could be heard in a separate building. So my wife and I smoke along with half of the other neighbors, and she would stand outside with us talking and bitching about the apartment office staff. Eventually she tried to get us in trouble as she could not open her windows in the summer, but the office told her that we were there first and to deal with it. When she didn't get her way, she tried to claim that our smoke was traveling almost 70 featuring into her apartment with the door shut and setting off her smoke detector late at night. Or that she was allergic to the smoke and do a fake pitiful cough. Eventually she fucked everyone over and got corporate for the apartment complex to instill a 25 featuring smoking rule. No distance previously listed in any lease agreement. So shortly after this was put into effect, my wife and a neighbor found out where the line for the 25 featuring was and we stood there or off in the grass. Well, she tried to claim that we were bullying her by sitting outside smoking a cigarette. But what took the cake and set me off happened on my birthday a few months after she had moved in. EP, take a guess me, 64, US Army vet PO, police officer. So I am outside smoking 25 featuring from the building in the middle of winter, standing on a plowed sidewalk in a public area, when here comes our EP. Mind, she is already on the phone for something I found out later. EP, me, can you please move so I can get by? Me, looking around me, there is plenty of space for you to get by. EP, but you're smoking. I don't want to walk through it. ME, so then go around. EP, I am reporting you to the cops for not being 25 featuring or further from the building. I had enough of her shit, so I shout. Me, fuck you, you miserable twat. EP, some unintelligent shouting about my language. Me, listen here, you miserable cunt, just cause your life success doesn't mean that you can make everyone else miserable. So I finish and I go back in to get down on Diablo 3 with my wife, when a little later we get a knock on the door. P.O. Mr. Me, can we speak with you for a minute about what happened earlier tonight? Me, sure officer, no problem. P.O. Can you tell us what happened tonight? So I'll lay it all out, the BS that led up to me yelling and what I said. The cops get a good laugh and ask me to not interact with her. The cop then tells me why she was on the phone with the cops already. Apparently this 40-50 years old woman was being made fun of by a group of teenagers and called the cops on them, acting quite frantic. The next business day I got a 3-day comply or vacate notice on my door for using inappropriate language towards a neighbor. Now I will let you know that this bitch is pissed off and threatened the office workers' jobs. It got so bad that she was banned from going into the office or sending emails to the on-site staff. All communication had to go through the apartment's legal. They loved me and were laughing hard when I told them my side of the story. I wish I could tell you that she got evicted, but I cannot, as the fucking bitch threatened to sue the complex for discrimination against her disabilities. Not sure if she had any actual disabilities, I think not with how much this bitch lied. She eventually just moved very quickly over the weekend and left the keys with a neighbor. Thank you. Next. First things first, I love my mom with all my heart, truly I do. But she can be a real fool about a lot of things, and this one of the most egregious examples of that. I'm assuming most people on this sub knows about the Avatar franchise, one of the best animated series of all time. I'm sure you know it. Well, when I was a kid my parents didn't really monitor what I watched, so I was able to watch a lot of TV unabated. And then one day, for some reason, my mom decided to sit down and watch with me. I was excited because of a new episode of Avatar was premiering and figure if I liked it she would too. She did not. Now the episode in question was the infamous Fire Nation Beach episode. Now if the internet is to be believed, that episode gave kids their first taste of fan service. So what happens when you mix an evangelical with fan service? That's right, pure madness. To this day I've never seen my mom so red in the face. I don't know whether it was from rage or embarrassment, but she was crimson. She called this show pure smut and nearly blew a gasket when the volleyball game started. She finally shut off the TV after Azula's failed flirting attempt. She sent me to my room for, and I quote, "for watching such perverted garbage." The next day she dragged me to our local church and told me to tell the priest what I've been watching. I did. The priest chuckled, told me to apologize, and sent us on our way home. But easily the best part of all of this was the fact my mom sent an angry letter to Nickelodeon. And I don't mean by email. I'm talking good old-fashioned snail mail. I don't remember much of it, mostly because I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing. But from what I did read I remember clearly. She, and I quote again, said, "I want a formal apology from your company for pushing such filth in the faces of children and an immediate replacement of the show with something more wholesome." So needless to say, my TV viewing habits were monitored a lot closer from then on. TL. Doctor, my mom sent me to church because she found Tylee too hot.